Today in this video, we're going to go ahead and show you how to install the FJM outdoor unit. One of the most important things that you need to do is first verify that you have all the compatible equipment. You can easily do this by opening up the Samsung HVAC mobile app, scrolling over to the Specifications tab, hitting the Scan button, and then coming over to the barcode and scan the barcode. Once you do that, you can open up the submittal and verify that everything that you have is a compatible set. Now let's go ahead and cut the banding straps so we can gain access to the outdoor unit. Once you remove the banding straps, you can simply lift up the cardboard box to gain access to the outdoor unit. The first thing you'll see on the top of the box is the installation manual. We're going to want to go ahead and set this aside so that we can make sure we know each step in the installation process. To remove it from the bottom styrofoam, you can simply tilt back, lift the unit up a bit, and slide that out of the way. Now let's go ahead and show you how to install the FJM outdoor unit.
We're getting ready to install the outdoor unit now, the FJM multi-port system, to all the units we just installed for the indoors. We're going to start torquing our 1/4-inch tubes down first so we can get to them easier. Make sure you follow the specifications for your flare fittings. They do have a torque specification. It is in your manual. Just click. One thing I wanted to bring up is the adapters that comes for this. Being we're using all 9000, these two down here are 1/2-inch connectors. It comes with an adapter to go to 3/8 on the other end that you can connect on. You will have to flare this. Make sure you have your nut on first. Flare this with your flare block, and that's your adapter that will connect onto the bottom. The bottom two on this unit, this is a 4-port, so it's got two 1/2-inch connections for anything over 12,000 BTUs. So that way it'll connect up for the 1/2-inch line. Then we'll take our nut off this, flare nut, the 3/8 side off. It means we tighten this first bottom one. We can go ahead and tighten this one. Make sure you tighten all your back ones first. Start from the bottom, work your way up. And you want to make sure that you use a wrench on both sides of this, but this does have to be torqued down to specs, and so does your adapter. And then continue on for the next ones. All right, now that we're finishing up with the last one, we're going to torque it down. And as you can hear that clicked. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to set up to do our pressure test. And we're going to start out with our pressure test is going to be at 200 psi for 5 minutes. And then once you've got there, you're going to break it with nitrogen. And then bring it up to 400 psi for 5 minutes again. And then break it with nitrogen. And then bring it up to 600 psi for 60 minutes. And if all three of these hold without leaking, and then we'll be able to put a vacuum pump on here with a micron gauge and bring it down to roughly about 250 to 500 microns. We've got our 5/16, a 1/4-inch 45-degree angle adapter on here to connect it to our gauges because it's a 1/4-inch hose. We've got our fill hose connected up to our tank of nitrogen. I have it set for 100 psi, and we're going to crack our valve open and start adding nitrogen to it. Okay, we're going to bring this up to 200 psi. So we opened up our tank. We're going to add nitrogen to the system to pressurize it up. And right now it seems to be, looks like we're right at about 200 psi, maybe a little bit over. Oh, got a little bit more. I'm at 175, so we'll add a little more. And we'll get this up to 200 psi. Right now we're going to try to get our unit to go down to 4,000 microns for approximately 5 minutes. Once it gets down to 4,000 microns, break it with nitrogen, and then continue on to another vacuum. We're going to take it down to 2,000 microns for an additional 5 minutes, and then break it with nitrogen, and then we're going to take it the third time down to 500 microns, and that's where we want to end up with when we're finished. And we're going to hold at 500 microns for 1 hour, and if we hold it for 1 hour, after we've evacuated everything, go ahead and open up the refrigeration lines. So I'll go ahead and start this out to 400 microns. We'll get started. Now that you can see that we got our evacuation down below the 500 microns, we was down to 404. We've shut our vacuum pump off. We're going to open up our valves, and while we had it on the vacuum pump, we went ahead and wired up our line voltage to our outdoor unit. And then also to our indoor units, the L1 and 2N for each indoor unit, and all of our F1, F2s. So now we're ready, and it's asking us for an E199, which is asking us to open the valves and do a pipe check.
For service manuals and other documentation, please visit our website at samsunghvac.com or use our Samsung HVAC mobile app to download any technical documentation. Thank you.